And then I'll quickly talk about how to generate images through movement. And now that's not coming out of camera, but generating through program telling to have to come up with something from zero, from nothing, and this is a shape that is going to expand based on my movement. If I move, it is going to expand a circle and then fade out. So it's a very simple idea just by movement. Okay. Now I have shapes. There are two shapes in 3D dimension. I'm going to control them with my hand. So this is a type of motion tracking that you're able to take the value of the motion into the things that you want to control. So I'm controlling the position, X, Y, Z position of these shapes. By doing so, the performer will have the freedom and the power and the relationship to process the images that is on screen, rather than just simply accommodate or trying to fit in, trying to perform based on the images and have this linear timeline where the performer has to do one thing or another in order to keep up with the performance. And now by doing so, we see a relationship between the performer and the result. At the same time, they have more conversation. In a sense, it's more sympathetic in a way. Okay, then we can even add in sound. So again, I'm gonna do add in sound, and the sound is gonna control the images. So the louder the volume, the more stretch the shape is going to expand. Let's see how. Now I'm interacting with the shapes based on the music as well. Not only the music is controlling the shape, but at the same time, you see how that's sort of more a steady, repetitive kind of result. But if I adding a little more control to it, things start shifting, the values start to shift. Now you can get different types of dimension, this kind of result. And so adding different layer of control and unpredictability to it, and it becomes sort of like a jam where the images and movement and the music can start to have their own room to improvise, and then the result might become more interesting. In a sense, it's again expanding senses, expanding different field, different trigger, different disciplinary to be able to come into one place. So this will be more like somewhat the idea concept for the synesthesia part of the film. So that was more or less a very quick and basic demonstration on how real-time processing works and the idea of it, and how if you imagine in life and seeing in the process right away on screen. But what I did was very sort of basic and visually less interesting. It's very like just to show how this really works. Hopefully this sort of gets through the idea of real-time processing. How does this film, how does the image and sound change when you have a performer or some kind, or when the processing, or when the editing and special effects are all done like real time. What does that tell you? How does your perception engage to it? And does that give a different? What does it mean really? Does it give you a different type of meaning? Does your emotionally is a different value, and then by expanding the space of the frames, what kind of language does it convey, and how do you engage to it? So that's one thing I'm trying to explore, and still having narrative and cinema in this project, adding this other values, other dimension to it, and what do we get in here? So of course it's not gonna be all live and all sort of audiovisual and abstract images, but this is something that is less comprehensible, and just trying to show and push this idea a little bit. And so when we are reading the script and looking at the images, we have this in mind, that what is behind the story, what's driving the story, and what is being on stage, and how is this process happening. Thank you so much for listening and watching. It's quite long. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy.